You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, we take a look at the day in the life of an ice cream truck driver.
Also, the man that shot his own grandson is officially charged with murder.
And we're continuing to track thunderstorms across the area. We now have some flood warnings out there. We'll have the latest on this morning's storms and what we're expecting through the day coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's just after 7 a.m. on this Wednesday morning, so we do want to remind folks we have a flood warning for Woodson, Allen, Wilson, and Neosho counties in southeast Kansas. Rain gauges there saying that they have picked up 1 to 4 inches of rain, and that's great. We need this rain, but unfortunately it's fallen a little too much, a little too heavy, and we do have some flooding concerns out there. So if you're driving out in those areas, make sure you are taking your time. Watch out for flooded roadways. Turn around. Don't drown. We definitely want to emphasize that.
Absolutely,
It's been a stormy morning across the area. Much needed rainfall for sure, but a lot of heavy rain taking place out there.
And lightning. We've
Yes.
had quite the show.
Not a good day for ice cream, but when it gets hot again this weekend, it would be a great time for ice cream.
Yeah, and have you ever wondered what it's like to be an ice cream truck driver?
Well, KOAM's Amber Jenkins talked with a local driver to give us a glimpse behind the wheel.
But I heard the music and I want some ice cream. Okay.
It's not truly summer unless you hear an ice cream truck heading your way. Rodney Daniels started working as an ice cream truck driver because retired living was too boring. Once behind the wheel, even Rodney's wife could see how much he enjoyed it.
And went home at night and told her how much fun it was. She decided she wanted to go and see. Well, guess what? She wants to do this too. I said, oh, wait a minute, hold the phone.
Driving an ice cream van can be daunting, especially in record-setting heat. There's no working AC in the van, but with the windows down, it's bearable.
It really hasn't bothered me all that much. The humidity part is a toughie.
Before this, Rodney worked as a funeral director in Arizona. Battling the heat is worth the impact.
Just a way, but you talking about a change of life. Yeah, definitely.
Rodney assumed the kids will love him, but he realized the adults are just as happy to see the ice cream van.
People run up and say, you remind me of back when, back years ago. Well, there's so many places that didn't even have this, but that kind of marks them and shows where they're from.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And their past. Everybody likes to remember their past.
The ice cream van can bring back past memories, but not those prices.
Oh, it's so high. Back when I was doing, well, yeah, back when. But have you went to the grocery store lately? Watermelon cut. I fulfill a little spot, and I definitely enjoy this.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
You're welcome.
And if there's a profession you'd like to see a glimpse of, contact Amber Jenkins on Facebook.
Yeah, and there's a lot of interesting jobs out there, and I suspect a lot of you have some interesting suggestions of people we'd like to see behind the scenes on how they do what they do. So make sure you reach out to her on Facebook. Something else that we are watching very closely as we go through the day are our thunderstorm chances. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing us where we've got a fair amount of rainfall taking place. You can see some more intense lightning now moving off to the eastern parts of our area, heading towards Springfield. We did a count on this earlier, around 460 lightning strikes with this activity alone. However, what we're now watching is a couple of things. One, flooding for Woodson, Wilson, Neosho counties. We're also watching, see the lightning starting to pick back up on some of these. We're watching re-intensification of the existing storms as they're moving through, and we're continuing to watch redevelopment that's taking place. Let's take a quick look. We've got this thunderstorm here around Greenfield, Arcola, heading toward Walnut, north of Mount Vernon, and getting toward the Springfield area. Heavy rain. We had been picking up some small hail. It has weakened a bit, but still a lot of dangerous lightning out there. We head back to southeast Kansas. These storms have begun to weaken, but they're beginning to re-intensify around Fort Scott, Girard, just northwest of Pittsburgh and around the Parsons area, south of Erie. You can see the darker reds here where these storms are picking back up, and they're all still continuing to lift off to the east-northeast, but take a look back behind around the Bartlesville area and back to the southwest of Independence. We're starting to see some redevelopment of thunderstorm activity out there and even shower activity along the I-35 corridor. So we've got to watch this closely because between now and noon, there's that possibility that those storms could intensify and become strong, maybe low-grade severe. severe. Then we head into the evening and we have another round of potential strong to severe thunderstorms. So as it stands right now, we still have this low to elevated tornado threat as we head through the afternoon into the evening hours. We also have that elevated hail risk for a good portion of the areas. We're talking ping pong ball size hail, and we have an elevated to even enhanced risk for damaging wind gusts, say in excess of 70 miles an hour. So as we go down the road, we could see again additional redevelopment of strong, potentially severe thunderstorms between now and noon. And then if our atmosphere recovers enough, we'll see that next round of potentially severe weather from southwest Missouri, extreme southeast Kansas, and back into northeastern Oklahoma, as we could see additional development of those storms around there. Unfortunately, it's all going to, or not unfortunately, but rather it's all going to be dependent on whether or not the atmosphere recovers enough through the afternoon. If it does, we're looking at the more intense severe weather. If it does not, we're still looking at thunderstorms. Still could be strong to severe, but that severe threat would be considerably lower. We'll continue to monitor the morning storms, the afternoon storms, and the evening storms as we go through the morning. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, before we get into the news, here's a look at the results from your local elections. We start off with Shal Duquesne imposed sales tax of 3% on all retail sales of marijuana sold. 29% voted yes and 6 voted no. And Shal Airport Drive imposed an additional tax of 3% on all retail sales of marijuana sold. 27 voted yes and 4 voted no. Shall the City of Alba impose a sales tax of 3% on all retail sales of adult use of marijuana sold. 12 voted yes and 0 voted no. Shall the Neosho Special Road District continue .1568 tax levy for road maintenance and improvement from 2024 to 2027? 140 voted yes and 32 voted no. Shall the Seneca Special Road District continue the .157 tax levy for road maintenance and improvement? 41 voted yes and 9 voted no. Fairview Special Road District continue .1641 tax levy for road maintenance and improvement, and 10 voted yes, 0 voted no. And shall the Diamond Special Road District continue the .1784 tax levy for road maintenance and improvements? 13 voted yes and 1 voted no. Stella Special Road District continue the .1437 tax levy for road maintenance? 9 voted yes and 3 voted no. And shall the Midway Special Road District continue the .1795 tax levy for road maintenance and improvements from 2024 to 2027, with 44 voting yes and 6 voting no. Be sure to download the KOAM News app for all your election needs. You can also go to our website for election information at koamnewsnow.com/elections. The website will include resources for all of the 4 state areas, such as polling places, deadlines, dates, and you can even check to see if you're registered to vote. Once again, that's koamnewsnow.com/elections. Well, the man suspected of killing his own grandson in McCune, Kansas Monday is now formally charged with second-degree murder in the case. 70-year-old John Fox of McCune made his first court appearance yesterday to hear the charge. The shooting occurred at the McCune house in Kansas, and investigators believe John Fox shot and killed his grandson, 28-year-old Ian Fox of Lexington, Kentucky. Still no word on the circumstances surrounding the shooting or a possible motive. And a Carthage man learns his fate for a fatal crash that happened just over 2 years ago. Kenton Cowgill gets a life sentence for second-degree murder. Authorities say in July of 2021, Cowgill was passed out in his car, blocking a driveway. Joplin police say when they woke him, he sped away, leading them on a chase. That chase ended in a crash involving 2 other vehicles at the intersection of 7th and Duquesne Road. Police say Cowgill tried to flee from the crash scene and get rid of 94 grams of meth. The driver of one of those vehicles, 66-year-old Robert McDermott of Joplin, later died from injuries suffered in the crash. In addition to the life sentence, Cowgill also received 15 years for DWI death of another, 7 years for resisting arrest, and another 15 years for trafficking drugs. Town officials in Knoll, Missouri are responding to the surprise news that came Monday. The news that the Tyson chicken plant will be closed in late October was sprung on city officials just an hour before the decision was made public. However, discussions and plans are already in motion to help community members in the coming months.
I have a meeting with Tyson again tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to learn a little bit more then. Also, John Newby, the president of the McDonald County Chamber of Commerce, contacted me this morning. They want to put on a job fair to try to help people relocate, stay in the area, possibly even stay in town, you know, so all these are positives.
These plans are still in the discussion phase, but the mayor hopes to have much more information in the coming weeks. Coming up, Emily Frykowski from Connect to Culture stops by to tell us the latest events, performances, and classes happening in the Joplin area.
And later, how eating nuts could help slash the risk of depression. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
In Health Watch this morning, snacking on nuts may help boost your mood. A new study says eating a little over an ounce a day of nuts can help slash the risk of depression in adults. Low to moderate nut consumption was linked to about a 17% decrease in the risk of depression compared to those who did not consume nuts. Researchers theorize that the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant impacts nuts on the brain's ability to explain the results. One serving of 30 grams of nuts is equivalent to about 20 almonds or 40 peanuts. And when it comes to packing school lunches, we can all get into a rut. If your child complains about getting the same sandwich every day, don't worry, we have you covered. Mandy Gaither has some healthy lunch ideas that are sure to get a smile.
School lunches aren't always easy. You want the food to be healthy. Your children want lunch to be fun. Licensed Strong for Life dietitian Catherine Sherry says what you pack is key to keeping students fueled and focused throughout the school day.
The lunches should have a fruit, a vegetable, a protein or fat to help keep them fuller longer, and a whole grain for some carbohydrates.
Sherry recommends cold whole wheat pasta salad with some veggies and Italian dressing. Add a couple hard-boiled eggs and some fruit. Try homemade Lunchables with deli meat and cheese, or rotisserie chicken with a guacamole cup, carrots for dipping, and grapes. Maybe make your own nut butter cracker sandwiches. Add some berries and sliced veggies with cottage cheese or Greek yogurt for dipping. Pack up your Taco Tuesday ingredients and send some deconstructed tacos. Your child may have fun putting it together. Chicken salad without the sandwich. Add some whole wheat crackers, fruit, and a veggie. Do some roll-ups, deli meat wrapped around cheese. Add some hummus, celery, and pita for dipping, maybe a banana. Leftover pasta can also be a big hit. Add some fruit and their favorite veggie. Use a whole wheat tortilla to wrap up a sandwich with some meat, cheese, and lettuce, maybe some ranch dressing for dipping. Or cube some chicken, add some barbecue sauce for dipping, homemade trail mix, some carrots, and pineapple.
Just some different ways where maybe it's the same foods, but it's presented a little bit differently is also exciting for the child.
The dietitian says to also include your child in preparing the lunch, allow them to help pack it, and take them to the grocery store to let them choose which fruits, veggies, or other foods they'd like to eat each week. She says that this way they can feel a part of the process and are much more likely to eat the lunch you pack.
And we are continuing to track thunderstorms across the area, watching for potential redevelopment of maybe some strong to severe storms between now and noon, and then another round of potential severe weather as we head into the evening. So here's a look at the latest radar loops, and we do want to remind folks in southeast Kansas that we still have these new flood warnings that are out. Allen, Neosho, Wilson, and Woodson counties. This one, they're reading gauges picking up 1 to 4 inches of rain out there, and so there's now a flood warning until 2:45. We also have one for parts of Greenwood and northern Elk counties until 1 o'clock. So remember, turn around, don't drown. Watch out for high water over the roadways out there. Still ahead on the KOAM Morning News, we'll have more on your forecast. And the Endangered Species Act was enacted 50 years ago, but advocates are concerned about a lack of continued support for it.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Joining us in studio today is Emily Frykowski, and she's here to tell us about what's happening at Connect to Culture. Welcome to the show, Emily.
Thank you. Welcome.
A lot going on. I can see wrapping up the end of summer, so a lot of events. Tell us about that.
Yes, we've got so much going on. Even though it is back to school time, I wanted to come on and kind of give a few different exciting things that are going on, and then of course come back next next month will be really big with fall events going on.
Ooh, yes.
So the first one I have on my list today is the 8th annual Joplin Arts and Cultural Preview, which is this Saturday, August 12th at 10 a.m. And this is something Connected Culture does every year. And I can't believe it's 8 years already, but we invite all of the arts and cultural organizations to come, and they have 2 minutes to kind of update everyone else in the room about themselves and what they've got going on. So a lot of times you hear about like what performances groups are, having for the next season, what classes, what exhibits, big events that are coming up. So it's a great time to take out your calendar, write
Start
down
marking
those
them
days.
down. Okay,
and
that's
we
great.
even actually partner with Missouri Southern's TV station, KGCS. Their students come out, film it, and kind of create a video that we put on YouTube so people can kind of go back and check it out too.
Okay, that's
Yes.
good. Love that.
Yes, and then next up, we've got a Sean Fitzgibbon exhibit, which is at the Joplin Public Library and Post Art Library. This is so much fun. It's up now through the end of August. And I don't know if you've heard of the Crescent Hotel since you're new to town, but it's in Eureka Springs and has it's a historic building.
Oh, very
It was
cool.
built in the 1800s, and it has, like many historic structures, had many different lives. And one of them was being a Depression-era cancer hospital. And so sometimes people stay there to, possibly experience some paranormal activity.
Oh, spooky.
Yes, but
All
Sean
right, that's
Fitzgibbon,
fun.
who is a graphic artist, has created an actual book kind of his original artwork, and they made large-scale renderings of these graphic, illustrations, and they're on exhibit.
Neat. Oh, I love
so
that.
just the other day, he had a kind of a artist talk and a book signing, so you can go look at the book and also look at these big pieces of artwork up close and personal at the library.
So fun. I love that.
Yes.
And then what else do we have?
And then we've got
There's so
Porch
much.
Fest at Third Thursday featuring
Porch Fest.
Yes. Have you heard of Porch
No.
Fest?
Is
So
it on a
that-
front porch?
It is.
Are there
And
rocking chairs?
There are.
Oh, that sounds
So
amazing.
it's in the North Heights neighborhood, which
Okay.
is actually close to my house. But all of these, neighbors open up their porches and have local artists come and
that.
perform.
How
and so this is
fun.
happening in September. However, there's a sneak peek at this Third Thursday in downtown Joplin. So the Gutter Divas and Matt Long will be
okay.
performing, and those
that.
are just a couple of the bands that you'll find on those porches in September. So, go out to support downtown Joplin and Third Thursday.
I love that.
And get a preview of what you can look forward to at
Oh
North
my
Heights
gosh.
Horse Fest.
Well, there is a lot going
Yes.
on. I'm excited. Make sure you folks at home check out Connect to Culture for all the happenings going around town. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be right back after this break.
Wildlife experts say the Endangered Species Act has done wonders to prevent many endangered animals and plants from being wiped out. Now, Jackie Ibanez learns that the 50-year-old
law continues pushing back on Capitol Hill, and some advocates worry the legislation may not be around for another 50 years.
It's been 50 years since the Endangered Species Act went into effect. The law was created to help keep U.S. animals and plant species from going extinct. And while more than 1,600 species, including the bald eagle, gray wolf, and grizzly bear, are protected under the legislation, wildlife experts say the law is critical now more than ever, citing how extensive habitat loss, pollution, and human-caused climate change are continuing to stress already at-risk creatures.
The northern long-eared bat, I'm sorry, its population has dropped 90% in a very short period of time.
Since the law went into effect in 1973, more than 99% of U.S. species listed as endangered or threatened have survived. Only 11 species have been declared extinct.
The Endangered Species Act is nothing less than a declaration of peace.
But to protect certain species and their habitats, the law has led to some regulations in the oil, gas, logging, and ranching industries. Some members of Congress argue the ESA limits economic development and people's property rights and are calling for reductions in spending and certain protections.
It is absolutely possible to question the cost of the ESA without questioning the need to protect species, even though some here will say otherwise. Cost does matter. Money isn't free.
Well, the last time Congress updated the Endangered Species Act was in 1992.
Advocates are calling for more bipartisan support to ensure the act continues protecting the nation's wildlife for more years to come. And coming up, Pitt State students, faculty, and staff now have expanded access to medical care.
And we're continuing to track thunderstorms across the area, and we've also got some flooding concerns out there as well. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30 a.m. and it's not exactly RoboCop, but it's on its way. Schools in Wyandotte, Oklahoma yesterday introduced a new line of robotic security. Joplin-based Stokes Robotics yesterday donated several robots to help in the event of an intruder situation. The robots will not patrol the schools and they only will be deployed if needed. Wyandotte Police and school system will be trained to use them, and Wyandotte schools were chosen for the donation because Stokes Robotic President Robert Stokes is a Wyandotte High School alum.
It being my alma mater, I had a relationship with Wyandotte, so we approached them to ask if they would be the site that would allow us to come in, set everything up, and make sure that whenever new technologies came out, we could try them out here and make sure that we had a site where we could continually innovate and make sure that things are working well before we send them to other schools.
Officials say this is a first-of-its-kind school security system in the nation, and students will also be able to study and learn more about robotics. A new partnership will bring new healthcare opportunities to PSU. Pitt State students, faculty, and staff will now have expanded access to medical care, pharmacy, and mental health services on campus and in the region thanks to a new partnership with Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas. Benefits for students will be similar at all CHC SEK locations, with student health fees helping to offset copays or deductibles. They can also receive care at any of the CHC SEK's 15 locations across the region, including 2 in Pittsburgh.
So some of the things that they identified is nutrition support, dental support that they wish we had more of or available to them, pharmacy, different pharmaceutical supports, and many of our students indicated already a connection to CHC.
The clinic will extend hours from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday during the fall and spring semesters, and from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. weekdays in the summer. The Pittsburgh Arts Council is getting ready for the launch of its first second Saturday event. It's called The Craft of Art, and officials say it'll feature 4 published authors from various genres who will answer questions and share insights into their personal creative process.
It makes the community a little more inviting to come to, so people visit from out of town. They come from all over the states, and they come here and they're like, whoa, like Pittsburgh's pretty rad, it's pretty cool.
The event will happen this Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m. at Toast in downtown Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Arts Council will be hosting a different second Saturday event every month.
And we're continuing to track thunderstorms across the region this morning. We do have flooding concerns for Neosho, Wilson, Woodson, and Allen counties in southeast Kansas. Rain gauges in this area picked up 1 to 4 inches of rainfall, so new flood warnings out. You got to make sure you turn around, don't drown. Watch out for flooding concerns around the area. We have renewed thunderstorm development, kind of re-intensifying here, right from Girard, Pittsburgh, Columbus, and just to the west side of Joplin. It's not a ton of lightning, but you can see some fairly heavy rainfall on that. And the view from our camera at 7th and Rangeline looks pretty spooky, but it's just a renewed thunderstorm that's beginning to develop out there. We're also watching additional development back from just west of Independence toward Coffeyville, Bartlesville, Newada, and some additional little showers and thunderstorms developing out in Elk and Chautauqua counties as well. And here's a look at those flood warnings. Greenwood, northern Elk County until 1 o'clock, and then again for Neosho, Woodson, Wilson counties, these run until 2:45 today with this heavy rainfall. It's great we're getting this rainfall. Everyone knows how badly we need it. The problem is, and we've had the concerns, we get a little too much too quickly, it ends up becoming a flooding concern. So here goes that first batch of thunderstorms. That initial batch we saw this morning is already gone out to the northeast of Springfield. What we're seeing now is redevelopment taking place on the backside of this system, and that's what's going to continue to give us scattered shower and thunderstorm chances. Some could be, again, strong out there as we go through the morning, heading toward the noon hour. Then this evening, as of right now, we still have the low to elevated tornado risk across the region. And we have that elevated hail risk for ping pong ball size hail and an elevated to enhanced risk for winds upwards of 70 miles an hour. And that's for the potential for redevelopment of strong to severe thunderstorms across these areas as we head into the evening hours, say after about 4 or 5 o'clock. So that's something we've got to keep an eye on, because as we've been mentioning, if the atmosphere doesn't recover, we'll still see some strong, possibly severe storms, but the threat will be lower. And if it does, that's when we could see some of these nasty thunderstorms this evening. We'll continue to track the morning storms and have the latest on what we're expecting to eat this evening, and a full forecast in a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Kansas Governor Laura Kelly announces funding for a veterans cemetery in Fort Dodge. The Department of Veterans Affairs has $650,000 for the expansion of the cemetery. The funding will help pay for construction, landscaping, and irrigation at the expansion site. The Kansas Veterans Cemetery at Fort Dodge was established in 2002. The cemetery currently serves more than 6,000 veterans and their eligible family members. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on KOAM Morning News. A Minneapolis author donates $1,000 to businesses owned by Black women.
And as mentioned, we're continuing to watch those thunderstorm chances across the area. We'll have the latest on your forecast when we come back. A Minneapolis author goes above and beyond for businesses owned by Black women. We take you to the town to learn more about this incredible donation.
Hey girl, how you doing? It's so good to see you. Oh, I just want to tell you that I'm so proud of you. And I know that as Black women, we don't get the loans that everybody else get. We don't get the grants that everybody else get. We don't get the support. For Black Business Month, I want to give you $1,000. You want to give me what? I'm going to give you $1,000 to invest in your business however you wish. Thank you. Oh, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
It means that somebody sees me, appreciates me, values me, and knows that I am deserving.
I thought, I'm gonna be the change I wanna see. I'm gonna make the investment. I'm gonna be the one to help these Black women sustain their businesses. And so making that donation is showing people that we're a good investment.
This is really just a testament to our resiliency and how we're gonna keep rising. I love her signage and still we rise and continue to rise.
How are we gonna flip the narrative? How do we take that 4% and make it the 96%? Is that we're gonna have to invest. Latanji, it's Shalana. Oh my goodness, hello. Okay, so I have a surprise for you. I'm gonna be the change that I wanna see in other people. So here is $1,000 for your business.
Oh
I see
my
you.
God.
I see you.
It's certainly impressive that she is helping out up in the Minneapolis area. That is a great thing. Hopefully, again, stories like this, we hope inspire others to step up and do the same thing. Well, coming up, millennials powered America's home ownership boom that took place during the pandemic. And again, continuing to watch these thunderstorm chances across the area. We'll have the latest when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:42 now on this Wednesday morning. Still got some thunderstorms around the area. We had some strong storms earlier. We have not had any severe weather across the area, which has been great, but we have had some dangerous cloud-to-ground lightning. We had a lot of it with this initial batch of storms that rolled through, and we're starting to see some re-intensification. We don't have any strong or severe thunderstorms right now, but you can see this cell that's just to the southwest of Lamar, in between Pittsburgh, Jasper, back down toward Columbus, Carthage, and now pushing through to the east side of Joplin. It looks really nasty, and when it was starting to roll through on our camera at 7th and Rangeline, it looked pretty spooky, but it's just a thunderstorm, some lightning, and some decent rainfall out there. We're continuing to see the redevelopment also taking place now back through Independence, Coffeyville, down toward Nowata, and then we're watching additional showers that are beginning to redevelop out here along the I-35 corridor, say from Wichita down toward Ponca City. So we've got a lot to keep an eye on. We also have flood warnings for Greenwood and northern Elk counties until 1 o'clock, and then for Woodson, Wilson, Jefferson, Neosho counties out in southeast Kansas, and Allen County in southeast Kansas until 2:45. And again, we know on this, the rain gauges out in that area have picked up upwards of 4 inches of rain. So I know we need this rain. We absolutely need it. The ground is loving it, but it's having a hard time keeping up with all of the rain that's falling. So we do have flooding concerns. So remember, turn around, don't drown. First batch of storms rolled through. We've got some redevelopment taking place in a few areas and more redevelopment down across Oklahoma. And we'll continue to see scattered showers and thunderstorms through at least the noon, maybe 1 o'clock hour. Then this evening, we have that potential for severe weather. Now, our morning storms, by the way, could still be strong, maybe low-grade severe with some small hail gusty winds. But our bigger concern is this evening, where we still have the low to elevated tornado risk across the region. We have an elevated hail risk. We're talking ping pong ball size hail. And we have the elevated to enhanced risk for damaging wind gusts. So we're talking anywhere from 60, 70, perhaps stronger winds out there as well. So something we've got to keep an eye on. We'll have those scattered thunderstorms through the day, and the expectation is around 5, 6 o'clock that we will see redevelopment right through parts of extreme southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma, and southwest Missouri around 5, 6 o'clock. And that's where we're going to see the best window for the more intense severe weather as we head into the evening. Again, if our atmosphere doesn't recover, that doesn't play out. We get storms, they could be strong, but we're not looking at anything too crazy at that point. So we'll have to keep a close eye on it. 69 in Joplin. We've got those showers out there. Temperatures around the region just kind of hovering. We got 68 Fort Scott, Nevada, Pittsburgh, 66 Iola, 74 Miami, and 70 in Neosho. So as we mentioned, we're going to hold on to the thunderstorm chances through the morning and into the early afternoon hours, going mid-70s. And by this afternoon, we'll see some clearing, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Highs today up around the mid-80s. Let's check your forecast. Now we're going to send it over to Caitlin for a check of Consumer Watch.
In Consumer Watch this morning, there was a home ownership boom during the pandemic, and it was mostly fueled by millennials. Younger households are typically more likely to rent than own their home, but according to U.S. Census data recently released, from 2016 to 2022, homeownership rates rose most for people under 44. Now, the term homeownership rate can be misleading because it isn't the percentage of Americans who own homes. It's the percentage of housing owned by the occupants as opposed to housing occupied by renters. Now, by last year, the U.S. home ownership rate was above 65%, up from about 64.5% in 2019. And the rise in home ownership rate during the pandemic could have been due to the several factors: people leaving big cities, less demand to buy a home, motivated sellers, and historically low mortgage rates. And the maker of Rao's Italian sauces is getting bought out by Campbell's Soup. The iconic canned soup company announced the multi-billion-dollar deal Monday. Campbell is acquiring Sovos brands for $2.7 billion. Campbell called Rao's the premium market-leading sauce and said the acquisition will strengthen and diversify the company's portfolio. Besides Rao's sauces, Sovos is the maker of other popular food brands like Michelangelo's frozen entrees and Noosa yogurt. We'll be right back after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. A turtle walks into a gym. Sounds like the beginning of a joke, but it actually happened in Florida.
And it gave the gym manager a workout as she tried to wrangle the turtle away from the equipment. Only Ginny Moose could bring us this story.
Oh, this looks like a really nice gym.
This turtle didn't exactly inquire about a membership.
I got some dumbbells, some benches.
As it toured the Iron Knight Gym in Port St. Lucie, Florida, strolled right in through the open garage door.
And I've been spotted. I've been spotted by a lady that's dressed in green like me.
The lady is manager Nikki Baker.
It's a turtle. I don't know if I should pick you up. I don't want you to snap at me, and I don't want to hurt you.
It was Nikki who added the turtle commentary, taking on the turtle with a towel.
What are you gonna do? You gonna dry me off? You gonna put it on me like a blanket? Tuck me in, go night-night?
You always think turtles are slow, but no, this guy was going.
Seeking cover under equipment, inspired perhaps, say commenters, by the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
We must use stealth and cunning to infiltrate the human world.
The infiltrator is a turtle known as the gopher tortoise. It's considered threatened Conservationists want Florida motorists to display it on license plates. Someone wrote a 5-star Google review of the gym from the turtles' point of view. Even offered me one of their towels. However, I decided not to enroll because I am a turtle. Nikki pointed toward the exit as if she expected the tortoise to follow her finger. It kinda did.
Are you shooing me? Are you shooing me, you frickin' walking muscle?
Like a matador, waving it out the back door. Jeannie Mose, CNN.
You frickin' walking muscle.
New York.
Because you can't run, you probably out of breath right now.
That is too funny.
It is. Turtles need their exercise. They have to check out the gym, see if it's something they want to sign up for.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That one did
not. Just a cute, happy story.
It was indeed. We've got some much-needed rainfall falling across the area, but unfortunately it's leading to flooding concerns, and we're also concerned about the potential for some significant severe weather as we head into the evening hours. Skywatch Storm Tracker continuing to show us where we've got some re-intensification of thunderstorms. No severe weather out there. In fact, we haven't had any severe weather all morning, which is great, but we've got this pretty nice looking cell that's now moving out of southeast Kansas and into southwest Missouri into Barton County. So from Lamar, Jasper, Carthage, right along I-49, pretty heavy rainfall there, and then stretching back toward Carl Junction and off toward Columbus. It was raining pretty good here at the station just a few minutes ago. And then we're watching redevelopment taking place. We've been talking about this line. It's going stretching back through Independence, Coffeyville, Newata, and we've got additional development taking place out to the southwest of that. We also have the flood warnings in southeast Kansas, so remember, turn around, don't drown. You can see all of this activity, and the one thing I wanted to take a moment to talk about is our severe threat for this evening, which has now been updated. So, Carenza, I apologize, but this has just been updated, so something we need to quickly talk about. So we now have, you can see the tornado threat has been condensed a little bit. It's been shrunk down, but we now have an enhanced tornado threat, and this little hatch mark for extreme parts of our area would indicate the potential for a significant tornado or two, but it has been condensed a bit, but it's still there. However, the hail threat's been expanded. We now have an enhanced hail risk with that hash mark indicating the potential for very large hail, and they've condensed the wind threat a bit, but have added hash marks there for significant winds. We're talking greater than 80 miles an hour. So our severe threat has been condensed, but has been enhanced as well as we head into this evening. We'll have more on their forecast at noon, and we'll be back with the news you need to know right after this. All right, showers and thunderstorms continue to roll through the area this morning. We're going to continue to see them through at least noon, 1 o'clock today. A couple of additional strong storms are possible, but our bigger concern is as we head into this evening. As we just mentioned, just updated our severe weather risk, so it's been condensed a little bit. Parts of southeast Kansas have been removed, but you can see our tornado risk has now been updated to enhanced with a hash mark for parts of Berry County, indicating the potential for a significant tornado or two. So we'll keep an eye on that. We also now have an enhanced hail risk with significant hail possible. So we're talking very large hail. And we also have the enhanced wind risk with those hatch marks indicating the potential for wind gusts upwards of 80 miles an hour. So this is the timing on these storms this evening is going to be after about 4 or 5 o'clock. So we will be keeping a close eye on this throughout the day. Outside of that, we're looking at mid-80s today. We'll get a pause in the rain before the next round of severe weather rolls in. Got a great Thursday ahead of us. Hotter Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with some pop-up storms, and then we'll see a nice Monday and Tuesday of next week. But again, we'll continue to track these storms as they roll through this morning, and of course we'll be here this evening with you as well.
Oh, thanks, Chris. Definitely we'll keep you updated on that. Well, bookworms and book lovers, Wednesday's the day for you.
Every August 9th is National Book Lovers Day. You can mark the day by starting a book club, visiting a library or used bookstore, reading to a child, or you can start writing that book you've always wanted to write, or maybe even start writing that novel in your head.
Also, be sure to check out your local library for celebrations like read-alongs, book swaps, and author talks. You can post your love of the written word with the social media hashtag National Book Lovers Day.
Certainly a great day, at least this morning with the rain, to stay inside, read a good book, and just kind of enjoy that much needed rainfall that's taking place out there this morning. So.
Absolutely. Perfect weather for it. So get those summer reading books off your list before the kids head back to school.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we've got that, we could have some strong storms between now and noon. We have that severe threat this evening, and of course, myself, Doug Heddy, will all be here with you at the Skywatch Weather Team as we track these storms through the day.
Thank goodness. Thanks, Chris. All right, well, have a great morning and an even better day.